Good morning, everybody. It is 10 minutes past 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the program. Lou and Jackie here, along with our good friend Sheree Clark from Fork in the Road. And
Yes.
Sheree, last week he convinced us that even this late in the year, we can have a salad and it can be hearty and filling and things like that.
Yes.
So that was really good news, but it sounds like you are going to continue with this trend, and especially with the weekend, unfortunately, being the last one for the farmers market in Des Moines.
But you'll continue to teach us how to eat fresh produce within our lives, even if we're not able to run downtown or our local community to do so. So make sure you keep tuning into this segment with Fork in the Road. But I bet you have a couple more tricks up your sleeve, because when it comes to salads, a lot of people are like, oh, great, I get to eat a salad, woohoo. But there's ways of making it special, so it feels like you have a special treat in front of you.
I do. I have my little darling of winter salads, and I hearkened about it last week, cabbage. I just love cabbage, and this time of year, cabbage is abundant, it's tasty, and it's cheap. So it's really, really a great little thing to have on hand. It also lasts a really long time. So at the last farmer's market, I'm going to go and stock up on cabbage. I bought this fabulous specimen.
Looks like a witch's hat.
Or I thought it looked like a little Christmas tree. You know,
or that Christmas tree.
I could put decorations on it or whatever.
Or a Smurf, or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly, it could be a hat. So I got this from Jordan at Grade A Farms, and I walked up and he had a whole bunch of them, and I was like, did something go wrong in the farm? And he said, no, this is a specific varietal. So I wanted to play with that a little bit today. Last week, this is actually the cabbage that I had last week, the red cabbage, or some people call them purple. So I really wanted to just talk about cabbage today in general. We're going to be talking about it and eating it raw, but let's remember that it's got a lot of other uses. First of all, sauerkraut. You know, when you don't think about what that's made of, but sauerkraut is a great thing. Not so much on hot dogs. Maybe let's just eat it on something else or as a condiment.
And being fermented, it's good for you, too.
It's really good for you. It adds good bacteria into your digestive system. It's very easy to ferment cabbage, so that would be something if you buy too much or you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do with all this or whatever, that's a really good thing to do. And it lasts for years. So I've had sauerkraut and kimchi that I have made years ago, and it just kind of keeps, I'll bring you in some.
Okay, so what's the difference between kimchi and sauerkraut?
Kimchi, it's usually the way that it's processed.
Isn't that just the juice? Isn't kimchi just the juice?
No, kimchi is it's a Asian recipe, sometimes uses fish sauce. Vegetarians or vegans like myself leave the fish sauce out, but it's usually hotter, has more spice to it. Than sauerkraut. But in sauerkraut, more often than not, is seasoned with dill or something along those lines.
Got it.
Okay, so let's talk about cabbage. First of all, selecting it. We're going to find a cabbage that's heavy for its size. We're going to look at the outside leaves and make sure that they look pretty decent. But remember this, if the outside leaves look a little wilted or they have some brown spots in them and that's all you've got to choose from, usually you're going to be okay because you're going to peel off the outside leaves anyway. And typically when something sits for a long time either in the store or in your refrigerator, you're going to want to do that. I always, when I get the cabbage home, will peel off the outside leaves before I serve it anyway, because it's been handled. It's been sneezed on, it could have been dropped, a lot of things could happen. So rather than wash it, I just peel off the outside
But when you're storing it, you just want to store it without peeling the leaves off, right?
Correct, yep, just leave it the way it is and then peel it when it's ready to go. Think of it like a little banana.
So how would you store cabbage?
I put mine in a bag, one of those green bags, not a regular plastic bag like you get in the produce, but the ones that breathe.
Right.
And then I put it in the crisper drawer. And that's typically how I keep it. And expect it to last months, literally months. Yes.
You must have a really large crisper drawer.
Yeah, this one, it was not in the crisper drawer. This is in my spare fridge. Some people have it as a beer fridge. I'm not a big beer drinker, so I've got a cabbage fridge.
She has a cabbage fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case. Okay,
so
perfect.
I want to show you really quickly, because sometimes people get intimidated. I talk about cutting off the leaves, and then you're like, okay, so then how do I turn it into a salad? What do I do next? I'm going to show you a really quick, easy technique. It's so easy, we can do it right here at the news desk. So I've got my chef knife, and I'm going to be holding this properly. The proper way to hold a chef knife is just like this, with my thumb here, right down, my hand is right down close to the end of the blade, not back here where I lose control, down here. The bottom of the cabbage is the core. So what I'm going to do, this is the only unstable cut. The only unstable cut, this is like standing up in a canoe. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to press down and go through the core. So I've got two halves. Now what I
It's really
have,
pretty.
it's really pretty inside. What I have now is a flat surface, so this is a lot safer to cut with. So what I'm going to do now is cut again. Got it cut. I don't know if I can do this really easily backwards, but I'll try. I'm cutting this way.
So you're going to quarter it.
Right down the quarter, yep. And now I'll set this aside, and now I'm left with this. Now to core, I go like that, and now I'm good to go.
So that's all edible there.
This is all edible. All this, what I threw away over here is I'm going to use in the compost. If I want to, if I don't have a Cuisinart, or if I don't have something to shred with,
right.
What I can do now is just simply cut down here and then chop these pieces up, and I've got a salad. An easier way to do it, and the way that I did it in this bowl here, is simply to put it through a food processor. You can see that I added carrots for sex appeal. I wanted it to be prettier. And
some coloring.
Yep, some coloring. And then I also just added some sesame seeds on the top. That would be great if I dressed it with some kind of an Asian dressing. That would have a really nice little flavor to it.
Wonderful, and that's all you would need just to have a delicious salad.
Yeah, and it's root vegetables, so carrots and cabbage are both root vegetables, last a long time, good in the winter, lots of nutrition, low in calories, high in fiber, all kinds of really good things for you.
Wonderful.
So, what about this guy? What can we do with him? So what I did for you there was I just peeled off some of the outer layers after I took out the outside ones and got down to the cleaner layer, the cleaner ones. And then I just cut off where the spinier parts are. Where something like this area of the cabbage right here is going to be a little bit tougher to eat.
Right.
And the rib area is going to be something that you're going to want to avoid. So I took the other parts of the leaves, I made you a little roll. I put some of the shredded salad and a little bit of shredded zucchini, some tomatoes, and I made you a peanut sauce. So all you have to do is roll that.
So even this is cabbage.
That's cabbage. Yep. So this is a whole kind of cabbage extravaganza we got going on
So take
here.
the peanut sauce and put it in there?
Yep, you can do that, or you can dip it, whatever works for you.
Kind of a little Thai roll that you might be familiar with.
Yes, and instead of it being like fried like a spring roll would be, it's all raw, all in-season vegetables, and the peanut sauce really just kind of brings it all together, gives it an Asian flavor. The peanut sauce has actually no peanuts in it.
I was going to say, what's in your peanut sauce?
I use almond butter. There is orange juice, ginger, garlic, a little bit of soy sauce. It's a medley.
This is really good.
It's really good. A medley of flavors. And if I wanted to make it hot, I just add a little bit of cayenne, probably just a quarter of a teaspoon in the whole recipe. And I just love it. This is a perfect lunch.
Yeah.
Portable.
Filling, that sauce makes it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's.
it does.
I mean, it's one thing that you don't necessarily want to hide vegetables because some of them are very tasty, but there is ways of just reinventing them and making them so that it doesn't seem like, oh, I got to eat my vegetables again today. There's ways of spicing it up, making it fun, turning it into a little bit of a spring roll with some wonderful peanut sauce, and it takes you to that thing that you might crave when you're in a restaurant or walking through a grocery store. You're like, oh, I wish I could have that. You can, but you can do it in a healthier way.
Okay, so what is this, the white stuff here?
That's just zucchini, and I took the skin off of the outside of the zucchini because now the zucchini, there's still zucchini available, but the skin tends to be a little bit bruised and tough, and it doesn't look so pretty. So I'd like to leave the skin on because there's nutrition in it, but I just peeled it so that it would be more attractive.
Okay. Well, you also brought some cauliflower.
I did bring some cauliflower
with you, and it seems like there are more and more recipes coming out of how to incorporate cauliflower into things you might eat on a regular basis. And it kind of, would you say cauliflower is one of those magic things that kind of disappears into ingredients and you don't realize you're eating
Yes, it does.
You don't realize you're eating a vegetable.
The magic veggie.
It does.
And have you seen the commercial where the guy is making a cauliflower steak? There's a commercial out there now, national commercial, where the guy is making a cauliflower steak. I never thought I would see it ever in my life when I met you. How many years ago? 5 years ago.
You probably saw it here first.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you made one for us, and we're like, okay, whatever you say, Sheree. But now, obviously, being incorporated into everyday life if you're seeing it on a national commercial. So just wanted to say that. But why did you bring in a head of cauliflower today?
Well, the trends start here, Jackie, because the reason I brought this was because this is not a fresh cauliflower, and you'll be able to see that it's been in my fridge for a little while.
For a while,
yeah. Because what I did with it was I took the other half and I made a cauliflower steak with it. So,
Okay.
and cauliflower, the reason I brought it, it's part of the family that's cabbage family. They're kissing cousins. So what I wanted to do was share the information that I imparted to you about coring the cabbage fits the same also for the cauliflower. So keep that in mind. When you're going to be making a cauliflower steak, all I did was I cut it straight down. I put it into my dehydrator, and I made it into cauliflower steak. Now that it's been around a while, it doesn't mean I have to throw it away. All I have to do is I'll take off the spots where I'm starting to get a little bit of discoloration. You can see that it's turning a little bit black there in those spots. All I do is take my chef knife and I just kind of shave off of those. They come off pretty easily, just lightly. And then the same thing, I do the same technique. Cut it here, and then once again quarter it. And now I've got cauliflower florets that I can use in a salad, I can use in a recipe. It's that easy and that fast. So don't be intimidated,
right?
One, by the taste of food, or two, that you haven't tried it before, or how to prep it. It's so easy. It's just a few quick knife cuts and boom, you're in.
And see, and cauliflower is great this time of year too. If you look at this here, because you know what cauliflower looks like? Looks like your brain for Halloween.
Oh my
so
goodness.
you could take that and serve that. Okay, how about that for trick-or-treaters that come over? Hey, here's a little piece of brain for you.
I don't want to scare the kids.
It's Halloween. Yes, you do.
Wrong. It's just wrong.
It's nutritious.
Okay.
Read. All right,
Yes.
Sheree, thank you so much. You're always giving us great ideas of truly how to incorporate healthy things in our lives. If people want more details, if they want, recipes on a great peanut sauce with no peanuts, how can they get that information?
Well, drop me a note at no, don't do that. Drop me a note at info@fork-road.com or visit my website, www.fork-road.com. And I'd love to hear from you.
All right, we're going to enjoy our tasty treats you brought in for us this morning, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Sheree Clark, very much. Fork in the Road with some cauliflower brain.
Here's
We'll
some
be right back
brain.
on KCWI Channel.